All right, it is time to appreciate the underappreciated, the unsung heroes in the NHL this year. Just go back to that conversation we were having off the top with Brandon Montour, a guy that maybe nationally doesn't get a whole lot of love this year, but Panther fans certainly know his impact and what he's doing this season, which is allowing that team to have a little bit of success here down the stretch. So we'll start with you, Johnny, on this one. Give me your most underappreciated goal scorer this season.
How about we head out to the old Pacific Northwest, take a look at Jared McCann of the Seattle Kraken. And once again, he's had another good year. He's such an efficient goal scorer. He's pushing into the 30-goal mark for a team that does it by committee. I guess he's the head of the committee because he scores more goals than anyone else on that team. Absolutely lethal shot week. See, he can beat goaltenders from 45, 30 feet. He's a high percentage finisher. Doesn't need a ton of opportunities. He's a good play driver. Underlying numbers are really strong. But if you thought it's a guy who the Leafs traded for, that didn't protect, and he was claimed, you're not exactly sure what he's going to do, look at his totals. Going up and up and up, and now 60 goals in the last 2 years, and there's still games left to play. A really high-level goal scorer in the NHL. It's been consistent now 2 straight years. And I don't know if people think of him in those terms.
True. For me,
yeah,
Jesper Bratt. Yeah. Here. I love the Bratt man. The Bratt man. I love him. Where's the Bratt pack at anyway? Love what he brings to the table. Really love the chemistry that he has with Jack Hughes in the two-man game. He can dish. He can finish in a lot of different ways. He's creative. He comes to play every game. And I got to say this. His deal's expiring. He's expired.
Hey, his money.
He knew what he was doing. Yes. He knew what he was doing.
Back up the Brinks truck here in Jersey.
On himself.
I've been looking for I haven't seen the Brinks truck. Have you seen it, Johnny?
He's going to cash in somewhere.
He is.
Maybe it's not Jersey, but he's going to cash it somewhere.
Absolutely.
Now you've just fired up the Bratt pack.
It's true. He's opening a lot of eyes because they haven't signed him yet.
Well, this is the risk you run. Not the risk you run. Tom Fitzgerald knows what he's doing, but he wants to sign Timo Meier. And he wants to buy Jesper Bratt. Now, Jesper Bratt would have a case to say, based on, I'm not better than Jack Hughes. Don't get this wrong. Based on my comps going into Jack Hughes' contract, I am way better than Jack Hughes. So whatever Jack Hughes makes, I should make more based on what you signed him, what he did prior to you signing him that contract. So he'll be in the 8s at least.
He's definitely going to be in the 8s.
And then Meier will likely be in the 9s, and that's a solid $17 million you're going to kick out to those two guys, maybe $20 million total. It gets to be a little bit pricey. Now, they could probably afford it. Guys are leaving on the defense. We don't need to get into it. But after you bet on yourself.
He nailed it.
Then I'm not going to really take a discount.
That's right.
You made me earn it. I've earned it.
Right.
I'm going to go get it.
Pay me.
Pay me.
All right. This next department, the position itself is underappreciated. So we're going with the most underappreciated penalty killer in the league this season.
For me, Arturi Lehkonen.
Okay.
And I love the acquisition of him from the Montreal Canadiens last year because he's a guy that can play in all situations. He's a very versatile player. He's an intelligent player. He's gone up the lineup here with the Colorado Avalanche during his tenure.
Yeah.
And he's such an intelligent player in all situations. The type of player, Johnny, Jared Bednar, just get over the boards.
He's a glue guy. He kind of makes everyone work better.
Yeah.
Doesn't ask for too much. Low maintenance. Just makes smart plays. Added some goal scoring to his repertoire last past year. Hit 20 before he broke his finger. So, yeah, he's a very good player. And how about a guy, more offensive players than ever are killing penalties.
Yes.
And I think if you're a good offensive player, you should be able to be a good penalty killer.
Right.
Because you know what you like.
Correct.
Don't let them get that.
That's right.
Sebastian Aho, Carolina Hurricanes. Very good defensive player, but also their best offensive player on Marty Necas this year. Carolina has the second best PK in the league. Aho's clicked along with his 3 shorthanded goals, plays significant minutes, takes important faceoffs, doesn't chase offense, and he's part of that up-tempo press everywhere, all the time that Carolina plays, whether it's 5-on-5 or 5-on-4. And just another example of kind of the more high-end players killing penalties more frequently. He gets 2 minutes a game killing penalties, so, he's out there killing a third of every one they get. So an important part of their group that is one of the best in the league.
He's appreciated, just not in that role.
Yeah, he's a appreciated player, but maybe not for his penalty killing prowess.
All right. How about the most underappreciated defenseman in the NHL?
Most underappreciated defenseman for me. Who's my pick here tonight?
Ekholm.
Oh, well.
And the Oilers are certainly happy to have him right here.
And, we knew he was good, but the idea that maybe he was kind of a little bit over the hill, you know what I mean, slowing down a little bit, he's jumped into Edmonton, and he has been really solid. And for everything he does, controlled outlet passes, handling forecheckers, transition plays, taking on tough matchups, you know what else he's done? Made Evan Bouchard.
Absolutely.
Tyson Barrie plus.
Absolutely.
And so the fact that he can also elevate a defenseman while playing the role that you want him to play, that's exactly why they paid that very heavy price to get him. But I didn't know if he had this much game left for himself and for his partner. He's done both in Edmonton. He's been really good.
Couldn't agree more. I look at the Rangers and somebody that they're still missing. I think it's been 11 games now for Lindgren. Ryan Lindgren. He's so steady. That's the type of defenseman that, as a goalie, you want those D playing in front of you. They do the little things. They can be physical. You can get up and underneath sticks in front of your own net. You can deflect pucks into the glass, into the netting to nullify some offensive chances, block shots. You look up and you see them grinning on the penalty kill because they may have blocked a one-timer from the likes of Stamkos or Ovi. Those are the players you win with. He's been missed. The Rangers are a wagon right now. We love their team, but he is a very key piece to their blue line.
Well, just look at the numbers.
Adam Fox appreciates him, that's for sure.
Big time.
Fox, the Rangers, when he's in the lineup, when he's not, you know, they have such a great bit of chemistry. As great as Adam Fox is, he's one of the best in the world.
No question.
He also has an understanding with Lindgren. I do what I do. You help me do what I do by doing what you do, and it works out really well.
All right, most underappreciated goaltender right now. Who?
It's Bob, all-time winningest Russian goalie in NHL history, Sergei Bobrovsky. And not Bob's your uncle, but Bob's their goalie. And Bob looks like himself again in this stretch, coming down the stretch in South Florida. He's been absolutely outstanding. I said it once, I said it twice. Since changing his gear, he looks more like Bob, the two-time Vezina Trophy winner that we've come to expect.
Yeah, I mean, it's important that he plays that way, too. It's hard to make a Vezina Trophy winner who makes $10.5 million underrated. But listen, look at the numbers, 11-4-1.
Yeah.
And there might have been...
Because everybody wrote him off.
There might have been some doubters that he could get back to this place.
Yes.
And so I think doubters no more. He's playing exceptionally well. But I'm going underrated. Who's the number one goalie in Minnesota?
Oh.
It's not Marc-Andre Fleury, the Hall of Fame.
Right now.
It's Philip Gustafson.
Yeah.
And the year this guy's had,
Yeah.
I mean, what a trade for Cam Talbot from Ottawa. And I saw him play in Ottawa. I didn't see this. I didn't know he had this in him.
Yeah.
Now, Minnesota's a goaltending-friendly sort of environment.
Sure.
But the number he's put up, he hasn't probably played quite enough to be in the Vezina conversation, but if he were to have gotten 55 starts, he would be a Vezina finalist. That's how good he is. Look at those numbers.
Yeah.
A 930 when the league average is dropping down to like 904.
Totally.
And night in, night out, he's playing great. Now, Flowers picked it up the last few weeks as well. He's playing great, but Gustafson, I didn't see it coming. I had no idea he could be this good this long in the season. He's proved me wrong.
And I'll tell you what's really interesting, right? At the back end, so you start in the net. You've got two outstanding Swedish goalies right now. One of them's going to win the Vezina in Allmark.
Yeah.
He's going to win the Vezina. You have Gustafson budding. And for the Norris Trophy, it's going to be King Erik Karlsson. But you also have Rasmus Sandin. You have other young Swedish that are part of that equation.
Yeah.
So good things happening for Trey Kroner right now.
Yeah. Stand up.
Yep, stand up.
All right, last but
Canadians
certainly...
I know, it's been a tough
more
road
some
right
Russians.
now. Totally.
last but certainly not least, the most underappreciated fourth liner. Johnny, we'll start with you. And this is a fourth liner who also gets some time on the power play unit, #1 unit.
So the thing about fourth liners, and I don't think this has changed, is that you're not going to play a lot 5-on-5. So you have to have some sort of specialty that you're good at, whether you can kill penalties, whether you're good on faceoffs, whether you're physical, whether you fight, whatever. You have to have something else you do. Hardly any fourth liner is like, oh, I can play on the power play. Like I play fourth line, but on the power play. But Stefan Nason for the Carolina Hurricanes is someone who plays in the fourth line, doesn't play big minutes, and yet when the first power play goes out there, he's out there. And he plays the Chris Kreider role, like in front of the net. He doesn't touch it a whole bunch, but he bangs away, and he produces power play goals on a team that's one of the best teams in the league. So I just think interesting as the evolution of the fourth liner sort of continues to evolve, and it's not so much just physical guys or intimidating guys or banger guys or just checker guys. It can also be skill guys. Stefan Nason put up pretty good numbers playing in junior, and the fact he got 10 goals, a lot of them on the power play on the fourth line is unusual. Makes him underrated to me.
Somebody else that's very underrated to me right now is Ryan Reeves. And I'm going to tell you why. When he requested that trade from the Rangers to come to Minnesota, Minnesota Wild were flat. They were kind of flatlining as a team. They didn't have the mojo that they had last year. They weren't playing outside of Kirill Kaprizov, of course, and his running mate in Zuccarello. They looked like a shell of who they were last season. Insert Ryan Reeves. There's more time to make plays. There's more space. Guys feel more secure with his on-ice presence and him being the aircraft carrier that he is from the physical standpoint, but he's also scored 3 goals his last 4 games, so he's played very well for them.
As of late.
Yes.
Like he's always, so I talk about specialties. He is the best in the league at what he does. No question. Not just fighting, which he is terrifying when you watch him fight. It's like he's having a walk in the park before he starts. It's terrifying. But also, having been down between the benches, like inserting his personality into the game and to his team, which is what Bill Guerin wanted.
Big time.
He wanted more noise.
He
wanted more
soft.
He wanted more energy, more attitude, more edge in the room, like pushing other guys to come with me. Type of aircraft carrier, like hop on board, and so like he plays 9 minutes, and the offense is not why he's effective, but he's very good at understanding. And for a guy who doesn't play a lot, it's hard sometimes
to manufacture
to get into the game. You're like, you're talking to me from the bench. I never see you. But he does. He's very, very good at it. The offensive side of things, he's on a hot run, which is great to see because you'd love to see him get rewarded for all the hard work he's putting in. But it's interesting that he's acknowledged the personality side and that he's able to get it into games all the time.
Here's the other part quickly to that. When Kaprizov went down, the question was who will step forward?
Right, where's the offense?
And not joking around, he's like me. Now we're not trying to compare him to Kaprizov as one of the best in the world.
Yeah, he's not.
But I'm just saying,
like the Rocket Richard.
Correct. But in his absence, you've got 3 goals in 4 games. Yeah. That's pretty impressive stuff from somebody that plays a role that there aren't really expectations of him to be on the score sheet as such.
Allows everybody to kind of puff their chests a little bit
time.
more.
Oh,
and then when they do interviews, those chests no longer have shirts.
Exactly.
Every interview from
no
here on out is
tarps for the boys.
off for the Minnesota Wild.